Okay, so I am officially on chapter 14 of Elantris, and a lot has happened. And first and foremost, Hrathen wants to destroy Elantris now, and he's holding rallies, and he's got a Seon locked in a box? I did not see that coming. Also, everyone is kind of figuring out who Raoden is. Like, Galadon is like, very interesting. Very interesting that you know a lot about these things. And the prince, died recently. But also Galadon said that he was a farmer. I think I'm with Raoden on this one. I don't know if he was. I don't know if he seems pretty worldly and cool. But there's a whole Dueladel thing, so maybe. I do like that Raoden is like building his own little crew now. He's got like his own community that he's building, and it's based on like, hey, let's just be nice to each other. So that was a thing. Karada. Met Karada. And let me tell you, remember the last video? I was like, oh, she sounds really cool. I'm very excited. The fact that the first line out of her mouth is like, yeah, burn this place down, chase them out, and break some bones. I was like, oh, shit, I was wrong. She's not cool. She's not cool at all. But then they made the deal of like, hey, I can get you into the palace. I can make that happen for you. And she's like, okay, go on. I did think that was very cool that she went to see her kid. I thought that was cool. I thought it was cool that her husband was a guard and that she got to leave the necklace behind for her kid. That was neat. And the fact that she is basically raising the kids of Elantris, that is so cool. I mean, like, in the span of a chapter, we went from she's threatening and terrible to heartbroken because her husband didn't even recognize her to she's actually got a big heart and she's taking the offerings from the newcomers just to, like, feed kids. Man, what a roller coaster. Serene going from, like, trying to get into the aristocracy via parties. Interesting. I've heard that before. I do really like the fact that Raoden is, like, only taking corn from people that are coming in so that he can plant it, and he wants to make Elantris, like, self-sustaining. That's pretty cool. Although, I'm on chapter 14 now. There's still a very long way to go. And Hrathen is like, we're wiping Elantris off the map. That's what has to happen now. But Raoden is trying to rebuild Elantris, and Serene is trying to, like, beat Hrathen, politically speaking. And King Iadon is, like, an idiot. I don't know. I feel like something's coming to a head, because this is very early on for everyone to already start making these, like, really big moves. And Raoden, I don't know. There's a lot going on in my head. I mean, like, everyone pretty much knows who he is now. Even Karada was like, yeah, I know who you are. I've seen you since you were a kid. My husband was one of your guards. Like, I get it. I don't know. I feel like this is stuff that normally happens, like, way later on. So he's obviously gonna, like, try to rebuild Elantris. I do like the idea that he's pretty much like, nobody thought ahead of time because everyone is just so mentally defeated all the time. And if we give someone, like, purpose, then they'll want to live. And there's a way to do this. So it's interesting that Raoden is going to try to rebuild Elantris from the inside, but Hrathen is getting ready to wipe it clean and just wipe it off the map. Yeah, it's just there's so many pieces happening and being set up right now that I don't know where this is gonna go. You know what I mean? I did think it was crazy that, I don't know why I didn't believe it, because they've said it over and over and over and over, that they're actually dead. Like, I thought it was just like you got this disease and then you got, like, this, black patches all over yourself, and they're like, they're dead, throw them in the trash. But, like, Raoden straight up said he held his breath for 30 minutes and the blood just isn't coursing through their bodies anymore. And then Karada's husband didn't even recognize her. There's a lot happening here. Like, where is this gonna go from here? Either way, also, The scene with Serene's uncle's friends, the kind of like meeting, there were so many names and locations and places in one chapter that my head was spinning. That video I made of like, yes, and traveling with the and Carl. That's what that chapter felt like. That was a little rough, I'm not gonna lie. My ADD was all over the place. It did not want to receive that information. It was a little slow before this past chapter. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm back in. We're stealthing. We're going through some crazy shit. We'll see what happens. Onward.